Welcome to Bananaomics. In this video, we'll explore the law of demand and shifters of demand. As you may already know, understanding the basic principles of demand is crucial for any student learning economics, as microeconomics will build off of this concept for the entirety of the unit. So let's start with the bedrock of the section, the law of demand. The law of demand states that there is an inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. As you can see here, we have a standard diagram depicting a demand curve. On our y-axis is price, and on our x-axis is quantity demanded. So as we can see from this graph, the law of demand states that there's an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. If we were to have an increase in the price of the good, we would see a decrease in the quantity demanded as the price causes the point to move along the demand curve. This also works the opposite way. If the price for this product were to decrease, we would see an increase in the quantity demanded. Probably one of the most important aspects of this section is that any change in price will not result in a shift, but simply a movement on the curve, therefore, changing the quantity demanded. Price will not shift the curve. But what happens when some external factors come into play? That's where the shifters or non-price determinants of demand come in. These factors can cause the entire demand curve to shift to the left or to the right. There are 5 shifters of demand: income, price of related goods, tastes and preferences, the number of consumers, and future expectations of price. So let's talk about the first shifter briefly. Income is a relatively simple notion. If consumers have more income, then they'll be able to spend more on products. When analyzing income, it's important to note that all goods are not equal in the eyes of consumers. We separate goods into 2 categories: normal and inferior goods. Normal goods are goods that people demand more of as their income increases. These are typical goods that most people want more of or enjoy, such as sports cars, new clothes, or nice food at a restaurant. The other types of good we need to discuss is inferior goods. Inferior goods are demanded more as income increases. These goods are typically lower quality, and consumers usually purchase them to save money. An example of inferior goods are used clothing or a cup of ramen noodles from a gas station. Another shifter that we need to discuss is the price of related goods. Related goods are separated into 2 categories: complements and substitutes. Complements are goods that typically are purchased together, such as peanut butter and jelly or cereal and milk. If the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded of that good will decrease. Therefore, less people will buy the good, and the complementary good will see a decrease in overall demand. The second category of goods are substitutes, goods that typically replace one another, such as dairy milk and almond milk. If the price of dairy milk increases significantly, the quantity demanded will decrease and drive consumers to purchase alternative products such as almond milk, resulting in an increase in demand. Another shifter of demand is tastes and preferences. This shifter causes demand to change in alignment with trends and popularity. For example, a selfie stick or a fidget spinner were products in great demand at one time, but not anymore. The fourth shifter of demand is number of consumers. The number of consumers surrounding a business can change and affect demand for a variety of reasons. Imagine there is a pizza restaurant selling near a sporting event venue. On the day of an event, demand for pizza will increase drastically compared to days with no event. The last shifter of demand is expectation of future price. If consumers anticipate that prices will change at some point in the future, their demand is affected. If a clothing store has announced that next week the entire store will be 50% off, most consumers will wait until next week to make purchases, and the current demand would decrease. And that's it. Hopefully you now understand a bit more about the law of demand and the shifters of the demand curve.